superb artist. And he's going to talk briefly about why this is so significant in honor of two legendary people at the reading show. Woody, how are you?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for coming on this beautiful day to celebrate SENGHOR's work here at the Sherry Washington Gallery. I'm going to briefly read a paragraph from Mr. Reid's artist statement. Free radicals are unstable molecules that naturally attack and eliminate bacteria, viruses, and other pathogens in the human body. Reid uses this scientific occurrence to address issues in contemporary life via his artwork. This body of work examines the exchange between the human body and the earth that supports and sustains us all. It also examines Reid's personal struggle and his yearning as a city dweller to connect with the natural world around him. Reconciling the barriers that always seem to stand between body and the earth, such as rubber sole shoes, rubber tires, latex gloves, articles of clothing. Reid's objective is to use these works as a catalyst for change and as a bridge to return himself and the viewer to the natural world around us. Reid's new body of work is a continuation of his journey into exploring contemporary culture by creating colorful depictions of everyday life. This is Reid's signature style. His paintings show a deftness of spatial usage, figurative integration, and movement. His artwork is never static, always inquisitive to the viewer, and fun to read and critique. Reid achieves uniqueness by executing painterly, powerful strokes across the canvas to enliven his art. As the viewer becomes more acutely aware of their ever-changing amalgamation of contemporary culture, SENGHOR REID infuses his faith, his dreams, his mind, and each painted canvas, thus making his works truly a reflection of his life's passion and philosophy. I now present you Mr. SENGHOR Reid.
Who wrote that? I did. I don't know what to say. Right. Okay, well, this is like my latest work that I've been working on for the last, well, let me say this, the smaller works I've been working on for the last 2 or 3 years, and the larger works are like, there are actually all 2010 of them. So this is my work. The still lifes help to, and I'm saying things that maybe weren't in the statement. The still lifes sort of help to inform the larger works, and it's sort of like an interplay between the two. And the show is also about sort of my yearning to be a person that is more connected with the natural world around me. I am a city boy. Probably will never be a country boy. At least I don't think. But I still yearn to touch soil and grass and water, naturally running water. And I never get to do that. And most of us probably never get to do that. Because we live in urban environments. The paintings sort of represent that yearning and that desire. And hopefully we'll all get there in the future. That's it. Are there any questions? Yeah. The titles. I usually title my paintings after films. I'm really I haven't been watching as many films as I would like because I've been painting. So there's kind of like I get a lot of inspiration from film, to say that. You know, just visually in terms of always trying to find a new way to explain what I'm thinking visually. A lot of that is informed by film, and typically old films and foreign films. Not like new, like bad films.
Anyway, talk about the piece that Tanisha's in. What can you tell us?
Oh, that's entitled Green for Danger. And there's a part 2, there's a Green for Danger 2. And those two paintings kind of dealt with the flight sort of people from the Detroit area and Michigan. And, you know, trying to seek some sort of solace and some sort of new life. But, you know, they don't necessarily know where they're going, and they know they're leaving something behind. And so for all of us who are still here, you know, we kind of still know what that beauty's all about, but there's still like all these people that are leaving, you know, trying to get them to come back. Yes.
For the still lifes, what's the significance of the 39 steps?
Oh, the 39 steps. I challenged myself. The 39 steps is a film by Alfred Hitchcock, and so I challenged myself with having to make 39 still lives. You know, in the course of doing the larger paintings, I'm always like really like hard on all my students. I'm glad some of them are here. Because I'm always telling them that they should be making still life drawings and they should be working on their portfolio. And one day I was just sitting there and it's like, wow, I'm talking all this junk to my students. And so I sort of set that challenge up for myself so that, you know, I could practice what I'm preaching, basically. And it's kind of significant because it, you know, it sort of shows like how my teaching informs my art and vice versa.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
I would just like to say your work is so exciting, and it does just what art is supposed to do. It jumps off the canvas.
Oh, sweet, thank you.
And I'd like to say while I'm saying to the person,
I can't see.
oh, you can't see me. You can hear me though. I would just like for everyone to know here, we also have a payment plan here at the gallery. Because I know there are so many pieces here telling you, take me home with you. And so we can make it real easy for you.
Okay.
That was a little commercial break. Oh, yes.
Mr. Reed, excuse me. How long did it take you to do the one behind you?
I started on this like in July and finished at some point in August. And this is a really fun painting because I had to paint all these rocks. And it became, I would go into the studio. Typically I would play music while I'm in the studio. But music sometimes gets me a little too excited, and I know I had to really be very disciplined with this painting. So it actually, I like would come to the studio and have no music playing while I was painting it, and it kind of became sort of almost a spiritual experience. And I would totally lose myself, you know, making all these rocks, and I would look up, it'd be like 4 or 5 hours later, and it was kind of crazy. It was kind of interesting.
So how long did it take?
I started it at some point in July. I finished it at some point during August. All right, yes.
I noticed some shimmer in that piece. Is there a different type of paint that you use there that you don't use in your other pieces?
Well, yeah, there's like a little secret.
Trade secret.
Well, no, you're right, trade secret. Well, no, but when you turn the lights off, some of the rocks glow. When I was painting this, the oil was still spilling down off the coast of Louisiana, and people in like all the way up the eastern seaboard were saying that when they went to the beach, they would pick up these little globules of oil, and so I was painting this beautiful scene. And I wanted, to show that though it may be beautiful, it's still like polluted in some way. So there are these little spots that sort of represent the oil. A lot of times you can't see the oil unless you have one of those like infrared, like blue lights or something. I don't know what it's called, but they showed it on TV one time. Yeah.
It's interesting to me that that shadow is made by what looks like a guy. What I would really like to know is, what is this shadow to the left of the person that's showing?
I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be sort of a mystery. It's another, but there's another presence.
Who? Or what? We'll talk later.
It's supposed to be mysterious. I mean,
it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, for artists, sometimes you solve certain problems by adding a new element to the painting, which you don't necessarily know what that new element means. You just know that something needed to be there. And so that's kind of what happened. Before, that was one of the last things I did.
All right.
And my eye kept falling off the painting. So I had to create something, and I didn't want to create another rock.
I got you. so we won't talk later.
Right. Well, no, but that's cool though. I mean, because for the viewer, that creates a new layer of meaning.
But you do the same thing in Tanisha's piece too.
Right.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Then I did that in there too. Right.
That makes it very exciting.
Right. All right. Thanks. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll go here.
I would like to commend you, frankly. I thought I was coming to see your mother's work.
There are a lot of emotions I could see.
But I really appreciate the legacy of you defining who you are as a continuation of the journey. So I'm greatly appreciative of the work that you have left us with, a part of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Reid,
Yes.
I am just so stunned by the motion of the water, the ripples, and and it's on so many of these, and especially with this one with this child. And I wondered if you played with some water to get a sense of this. How did you decide how to make the shapes and the lines that you have made to make this wonderful kind of rushing and flowing?
Oh, that's a long question.
I know, but you don't have to answer. I'm just saying it's amazing to me how it's wonderful. All these shifts in the water. It's really beautiful.
Well, a couple of years ago, I started painting the sky and clouds.
Okay.
But initially, all the clouds, they looked like rocks because I didn't know how to paint clouds. So they looked like rocks in the sky. And so I had to really revisit my process and really rethink, the way we see things and the way we think we see things. So with the water, typically, when you think water, you think, oh, water should be blue. Mm-hmm. And it's really not blue. It's just, reflecting blue from the sky. And so I had to kind of reconcile that in each painting. And that allowed me to kind of get over, any trepidation about, painting something in a very cliche manner. And that kind of allowed me to sort of release sort of a new energy into the painting.
That's what it is, a lot of energy.